everybody, and well, you already know these are the proving grounds. So, I'm going to cut to the chase. I am trying to start up another project here. It was a question that was brought up during the job. A salesperson promised something to a customer. It's not something that our development team is working on, and being part of support, they ask us if we can make it happen. It's above my pay grade to just make snap decisions and tell them, so they said no, but it's stuck in my head, so it's a little project of mine to see if I can make it happen. The goal is playing videos in media player programmatically through PowerShell or command prompt. So basically, either make a PowerShell script or a batch file that can take a folder that has a bunch of MP4s or MKV files and just open up media player and play them in succession. Now, like everybody else, I googled it. I looked, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that's up there, and not all of them cover the same thing that I want. So we're breaking it down to small bits and bytes here. And so the series is going to be called Playing Videos in Media Player Programmatically. And I'll just say with script instead of saying, okay, PowerShell or command prompt or bash. Whatever works. But for now, I'm going to take it in small portions. And I'm going to dive in first with PowerShell, since I'm getting a better idea of how to use it and I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with it. So one of the places I looked was actually Microsoft.com. They made PowerShell, so why not? So if you go to like the learn.microsoft.com section, you under PowerShell scripting, and you look up their samples, they got a section titled Working with Files and Folders. So that's where you're going to start looking. And one of the things that I found was that there's a get children path. And well, if I create the directory, I basically know where the path is going to be. So I just have to get that child, the children of that path to show. Now, the first portion of it is basically how to select all the files in the directory and show it. So the original sample was something like this. Let me just open up a notepad file. And the original section was get dash children space slash dash path with a capital. And it was like, they just said C colon slash dash force. And you would just like have that, and this section, like this C colon slash force, cut that out, and you would just have just this section plus, and then C colon or whatever drive you're in, and path to your folder, and then something like that. Or you can do without that portion, it doesn't matter. But so we're going to do something like that. So if we go here, I'm just going to go to it since I already made a test directory. So get children. I know I could have done cut and paste, but you know what? I want to give you your money's worth here. That's a dash path. And then space C colon slash and burn. No. We'll go. I got different computers, different directories. Most of these tend to get overwritten and redone over and over anyway, so I don't really care too much if I'm sharing or not. Not like anybody else is going to get too much use out of it. But actually, wrong one. Let's go to this directory. And this folder. Now, now that I have it written out, all you gotta do is just hit enter. And oh my god, what happened? What did I do wrong here? Did I miss something along the way? Path, users, desktop test videos. Ah, I'm sorry. Not children. Child item. See, this is one of the reasons I actually mentioned the website, because sometimes a second pair of eyes is very helpful. This should do it. There it is. Ta-da! So, that was supposed to be child item. Not child tem. Child item. So, test video directory actually gave me the three MP4s, two batch files, two PS1 files. These are just experiments. We'll get to those later. But this portion was the beginning of my path. So I followed the path and I can actually list it. I'm listing here in PowerShell, but that means I can identify it. Now I got to move on to the next step. Now the question is, how am I going to do that? That's where I'm going to be breaking this thing down to smaller bite videos, because I found ways to accomplish the other steps, but some are done in PowerShell, some are done in command prompt, and some are done in Bash. My goal is to try to figure out a way to actually make all this make sense and marry it all together, so that way it's all one PowerShell script, one batch file, or one shell script, and be able to accomplish what I need done. And the goal is to do this on Windows PCs. So if I am running a shell script, how to translate it so that way a Linux or Mac computer can initiate a script that will actually affect a Windows machine to do something. In this case, pull up videos and play them. And kind of like a homemade playlist, but not necessarily doing this through the GUI. So that's part one, and I will be working on the other components, and I'll show you pretty soon.